Welcome, Muses. Tonight, we drift beyond the nursery rhyme and into the carnival of nightmares, where Mary Poppins and Pennywise spring from the same wicked bloodline, trading sugar-sweet smiles for razor-toothed grins. We'll carve back the legend of the jack-o'-lantern from Stingy Jack's eternal curse to the flickering pumpkins meant to keep darkness at bay. And then we'll unbox the world's most accursed relics, dolls with dead eyes, mirrors that swallow souls, and trinkets that whisper in the night. Finally, we follow the last footsteps of Roger Wallace Sheltrown, who vanished after clutching a haunted lantern at a lonely roadside stand. Stay close, your lanterns glow, maybe the only thing standing between you and the shadows. Let's go. Hey, y'all. I hope that everyone is having an amazing week. How is your week going, Amy?
Well, I hope it's going a lot better than yesterday. But
Yeah.
I'll put this hat back on
Okay.
and enjoy it.
Right. So we are on take 2 for this episode because yesterday we got not even through my first segment and something happened and things didn't work.
So annoying.
Yeah. So we're going to try real hard to keep the same energy today, except for that part. I am starting with a conspiracy theory for a horror movie and a not at all horror movie. It's pretty interesting,
I can
to say the least.
tell you that it's really interesting, the parts I heard yesterday.
Right.
Before you get started, I just wanted to mention about the last episode, my unfinished thought, before everybody thinks I've lost my ever-loving mind. To be fair, I have, but we don't talk about that. So when I was listening, because I always listen to judge myself, because it seemed like I started talking about having read, people just saying they read Stephen King books or novels too early in life, and I said that mine was Helter Skelter.
Yes.
That was to continue, that I did not continue. That was to say, while that did not cause me to blink or bat an eye, crime scene photos included in that
Right.
when I was in middle school, the Scooby-Doo version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, that pumpkin-headed character, yeah, it just really scared the sleep out of me, and I really thought my stepmom was probably going to lose her mind on me.
Right.
I was like, I'm scared. And she was like, Penny, that is a cartoon. You're afraid of a cartoon. I mean, so that was where I was going with that unfinished thought. And I just thought y'all should know that I was never scared of reading the book Helter Skelter.
Right.
But Scooby-Doo's version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, maybe it was just the cartoon of Legend of Sleepy Hollow, or maybe it was Ichabod Crane cartoon. I don't remember. I think it was Scooby-Doo related. I'm not sure.
Well, you don't remember.
Anywho, I was traumatized, clearly.
Yes.
Imagine all the things.
I know. So yesterday, I also admitted, everybody pretty much that knows me knows that the only movie that's ever actually freaked me out is The Ring, which is not even remotely scary. And it's not even me. The movie itself is not scary. It's the
psychological.
Yeah, it's the weird
aspect of it, I think.
Contortion and weird unnatural body movements that freak me out. But yeah, it took me a good week to be able to get off the couch without sprinting everywhere I went, with a newborn even, which made things fun. Thankfully, I spent most of the time on that couch anyway because I had a newborn.
Just spread along with poor old BB.
I did.
What's going on? I just got here. Why this woman running?
Yeah.
But I love her.
Anyway, yeah, definitely.
But you had said something too about another movie that was like
the second Blair Witch Project, where the one chick is dancing around a pole, but they have it done in reverse.
And
did not approve.
I agree.
Didn't okay that. But yeah, it's more unnatural body movements. I don't like possession movies, demon possessions. Like, I'll read about them all day. I'll study and research them all day long. Watching them, I just don't like it. It makes me feel like it's going to happen. It's not unheard of. So I'm just cautious.
Did you ever listen to the last episode of that one podcast? We found it while you were still living here. And
oh, no.
We couldn't.
No, I didn't.
I would text you from my bed while you were down here, and I'd be like, "Babby."
No, I didn't.
I'm trying to listen to it.
Forgot about that. Yeah, no.
Hold on,
I didn't.
Should we shout that out?
Yeah, we should. Glorious. Because let me tell you what. That's another one. I forgot about that one. That was one that just listening to it.
Okay, so it is called No Man's Land, a true crime horror podcast.
Yeah,
and y'all just need to go and find that. If it is not where you... What the heck? A new episode has popped up, but it says it's from 2022. Is that when you lived here last?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that. October 31st, 2022. But if you can't find it where you listen to podcasts, ladies and gentlemen, it is on Castbox. You just have to listen to it. It's something.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about our odd movie traumas and such. So imagine a world where the gentle hum of a child's lullaby shifts into a whisper promising terror. Now, picture the same voice guiding children through dark dimensions alongside a predator in a clown costume. This fan-born conspiracy fuses Stephen King's demonic clown Pennywise with Disney's practically perfect nanny, Mary Poppins.
I still stand by what I said yesterday when we tried to record this. Mary Poppins is a Time Lord, and if you know about Time Lords and Mary Poppins, you know why I think that.
Right.
And if you don't, look it up.
We're going to set a stage where innocence meets the occult. Horror thrives on subverting childhood comforts. Nursery rhymes warped into chants, playground laughter hinged on a scream. Both Pennywise and Mary Poppins exist at an uncanny intersection. One lures children into drains with balloons and carnival music. The other descends from the skies with an umbrella and a smile. Fans argue these figures share a predatory origin. Cosmic entities camouflage trauma beneath cheerful veneers. So we're going to go over Pennywise's origins first. Stephen King first introduced Pennywise in his novel It in 1986, a shape-shifting entity that awakens every 27 years to feast on fear. It appears most often as a clown, an archetype already tangled in childhood trust and unease. King hints at something far older, possibly predating human history, using fragments of Native American folklore wrapped in cosmic horror. Pennywise's domain beneath Derry, Maine echoes otherworldly realms rather than mere sewers. Fans note that King's descriptions, orange clown suit, glowing eyes, multicolored balloons, serve as a siren song for lost and lonely children. The creature leaves behind subtle distortions in reality. Echoes of carnival organs heard in empty streets, shifting murals on damp walls. These details anchor Pennywise in a space between nightmare and waking life, inviting deeper speculation about its true nature. So that's Pennywise. According to the book, also.
Yeah.
We figured that out yesterday, so I wanted to go ahead and point it out now before everybody was like, what?
Yes.
So that's more
all you people
the description of things.
Yes. You need to read the books as well.
Yes, because it's very, very different. Mary Poppins. On the surface, Mary Poppins from 1964 is the epitome of wholesome family fare. Julie Andrews' performance dances between warmth and subtle authority. Yet Travers' original stories, archival letters reveal a sharper, more enigmatic nanny, one who arrives unannounced, vanishes without farewells, and leaves children forever changed. The magic she wields, talking animals, living chalk drawings, suggests a reality-bending power that never fully aligns with ordinary fantasy. Disney's adaptation softens Travers' edges, but retains certain unsettling beats. Mary appears when needed, approaches nursery windows at dusk like a silent sentinel, and sings songs laced with cryptic advice. Her umbrella, topped by a parrot head, whistles at her command, an auditory signature that parallels Pennywise's haunting carnival music. These overlaps set the stage for a theory that makes innocent magic feel deeply uncanny. Let's start with the parallels. At first glance, the pair could not seem more opposed. Pennywise is loud, grotesque, and openly violent. Mary Poppins is measured, tidy, and bound by polite British decorum. Yet fans argue these are two faces of one cosmic predator. Both emerge from the sky, or from beneath it, bearing gifts that ensnare. Each employs sound cues, Pennywise's distant drums, Mary's parrot head whistle. They both target children in moments of vulnerability. Furthermore, each figure shapes reality. Pennywise twists geography in Derry's sewers. Mary transforms grimy London rooftops into dancing chalk tableaus. Both challenge the boundary between imagination and fear. Fans propose that what appears as whimsy in Poppins is simply another mask, her magic tailored to lull children into dependence just as Pennywise's balloons do. The parallels are pretty good.
Yes.
Opposites, but not really.
So the suggestion is they are the same creature in different forms?
More species.
For this.
So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think it gets a little more in-depth with the difference in those also. Okay, so the cinematic cues for these. First, consider color. Pennywise's signature red balloon becomes a recurring motif in its adaptations. In Disney's 1964 classic, Mary's parrot head umbrella features brilliant red accents. Observant fans freeze frame key scenes to highlight these moments. They point to the umbrella's curvature, mirroring Pennywise's rictus smile, arguing the hue isn't accidental, but a coded signal. Next, Pennywise often appears just beyond the frame's edge, forcing us to scan the background for movements. Mary Poppins arrives in a similar fashion, floating above the rooftops, her silhouette framed by twilight windows. Both shots create a sense of omnipresence. Fans say these framing choices represent a single entity shifting shape, yet preserving core angles of attack. Finally, the sound design. In it, 2017, an eerie carnival organ motif underlies Pennywise's appearances. In Mary Poppins, the whistle from the parrot-headed umbrella carries a minor key undertone whenever she appears. Fans remix audio tracks to reveal shared intervals, suggesting composers intentionally wove the same unsettling scales into both scores.
I need to look that up.
Yeah,
Forgot about
definitely.
that.
And I'm going to try to find a copy that I can actually use on the Facebook. I had a time, because Mary Poppins being Disney, you can't use a lot of their things. Like even trying to create like a hint picture that I used with the umbrellas and the balloons, even doing that was very difficult, because I tried to find some, like they've had some fan art that they've combined the two faces together, but I didn't want to use somebody else's art because that's rude. However, trying to create them through AI, it will not let you use anything Mary Poppins. It will not create something in her likeness. It will not do anything. So
conveniently, you are an artist.
That would take a lot of time, but that actually would be kind of cool to do. So I may work on that.
Okay.
Narrative parallels and thematic echoes. Beyond visuals, the narrative structures align. Pennywise awakens cyclically, returning every generation to feed on fear. Mary Poppins arrives cyclically as well. Stories hint she materializes when a family needs her most, then vanishes when her work is done. Both rituals follow a mysterious timetable beyond human comprehension, implying cosmic design rather than random magic or malevolence. Each figure brings transformation. Pennywise forces children to confront inner trauma before consuming it. Mary Poppins guides children through coded life lessons, reshaping their perception of adulthood. In both tales, the child emerges forever altered, scarred, or enlightened. Fans propose that the metamorphosis is a predator method for harvesting emotional energy or trauma and wonder alike, fuel a cosmic ecosystem. Fan investigators assemble on forums and video essays. Digital sleuths trace historical threads. They dig into P.L. Travers' diaries, searching for mention of eye, clown, or balloon. They scour King's annotations for references to umbrella or nanny. Reddit threads compare publications and release dates, hunting for synchronistic anniversaries. Some even chart the orbit of Halley's Comet, noting its 75-year cycle loosely overlaps both narratives' timelines, hinting at a celestial puppet master lurking above. These communities share mashup clips, Mary's whistle layered over Pennywise's scenes, child actors, doppelgangers splicing into each other's films, color-graded frames that match shot for shot. They dubbed these fan films Poppywise and Mary It, complete with mock interviews and faux documentary style. While tongue-in-cheek at first, dedicated adherents slowly transformed the jokes into serious thesis on cosmic horror hidden within childhood staples. So we're going to go to that because that's glorious.
Poppywise?
Poppywise is still going to be my favorite. It's so much fun.
I just love it.
I do too.
Marry it is one thing. That
Marry
just
it
sounds like a proposition.
Poppywise is glorious.
I'm here for Poppywise.
Me
I
too.
mean,
and
I'm going to assemble on that battle cry.
If you start...
Call to action, rather.
If you start looking into some of these things yourself, you can put in Poppywise and you will come up with all kinds of things. That's where some of the pictures of fan art and things like that came from. So we're going to go over the key pieces of evidence. And of course, that's quotes because, So number 1, the extended cut Easter egg. In the 2017 director's cut of It, a background poster in Derry's Town Square shows a silhouetted figure holding an umbrella. Fans argue this was too precise to be coincidence, pointing to a late-night reshoot that allegedly included the extra shot. Number 2, Travers' unpublished manuscript. A rumored manuscript page surfaced in an online auction house. In it, Mary Poppins hints at travel through shadow drains and carnival cities, language reminiscent of King's description of its lair. The authenticity remains disputed, but the phrasing fuels speculation. And then we had discussed this yesterday with the shadow drains and carnival cities. I'm not sure exactly what that would be, but again, I haven't seen the said manuscript to see a description. So,
Yeah, I was confused about what is a shadow drain. Is it a drain only
right.
shadows? Maybe it's somewhere, I don't know.
So number 3, the composer's note. Michael Giacchino, composer for Disney's 2018 Mary Poppins Returns, mentioned a fleeting inspiration from horror scores, specifically deranged carnival pipes. Though he later denied any direct nod to it, fans latch on to this admission as tactic proof. Debunking the theory. Rational critics point out overlapping tropes rather than shared origins. Clowns and nannies both inhabit archetypal roles, trickster and caregiver, so parallels may emerge naturally. The umbrella whistle is common in Victorian-era children's literature illustrations. Red signifies danger and attention to cinematic shorthand, not necessarily deliberate cross-franchise signal. So Disney and Warner Brothers hold separate rights, making any secret collaboration logistically improbable. Surveying original scripts.
Improbable. But not impossible.
Not possible.
Who's to say 2 persons, one from Disney, one from Warner Brothers, aren't friends?
Right.
And, Be
And you have to
collaborating, not
also
secret.
think the adaptations onto film
Mhm.
are more so what we're discussing, because in the
Yes.
book for it, the costume, the multicolored balloons, things are a lot different. The 2017 version is the one with the red balloons and all of the ties. But there are still, I guess, if you think of their life and like what it is that they're doing, it still kind of ties to it. But if we're looking just at visuals, that's going to be the 2017 version. And then you have to think of the time in between Mary Poppins. I mean, it's years and years. So it's not like that's not possible. Like if these had all came
I
out
mean,
at the exact same time, you know what I mean? That would
yes.
make it far more improbable, but it's not. So
I mean, for all we know, family members,
could very easily be.
somebody's grandpa may have worked on Mary Poppins, and then somebody's, I mean, and then their
Grandson.
grandchild worked on
Yeah. And
it.
like just following suit with what grandpa did.
Yeah.
We don't know. So surveying the original scripts and production memos reveals no interstudio correspondence. Composer Giacchino's throwaway comment on carnival pipes, critics argue, reflects genre bending rather than a hidden agenda. More plausibly, fan communities amplify coincidences into conspiracies faster than studios ever conspire. To be fair, that's true.
It's absolutely true.
So the implications and interpretation. Whether true or invented, the Pennywise Mary Poppins theory taps into a deeper fear that protection itself might be predation. It forces us to reevaluate childhood stories we trust implicitly. Are nursery rhymes comfort or code for ancient rites? Does whimsy cloak a more disturbing truth?
I mean, you got to think about nursery rhymes and where they came from.
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Exploring this theory reshapes how we view media's power to influence memory, trauma, and the thin line between wonder and terror. At its heart, this conspiracy crystallizes our longing for patterns. We connect dots because uncertainty feels more dangerous than a neat, sinister explanation. And in horror, whether cosmic or domestic, the promise of grand design, however frightening, offers the illusion of control over chaotic fear. So in conclusion, next time you hum a spoonful of sugar or pass a red balloon drifting down the street, remember, the boundary between caregiver and clown can be razor thin. Are you protected or are you prey? And if these icons truly share a cosmic origin, which childhood favorite might be the next shape-shifting predator in disguise? So, what do you think, Amy? Muses, give us some comments on this in the show notes on what your thoughts are, whether you think this is true or possible, or what your own theory might be. So, what is yours?
It's not. I mean, it's not impossible. It's not even So, Spoonful of Sugar, though, now has this whole other thing going on for me, because now I think a spoonful of sugar is take this medicine, because I went, and I talked about that yesterday. I thought of that song, and because everybody knows that Peter Pan was actually leading the children into the light.
Right, yes.
And now I'm thinking, is a spoonful of sugar, are you
kind of the same thing? Docile.
Yeah. Are you making the bad medicine go down?
Right.
Is she coming there to
My theory with that part is, if you think about it on both perspectives, from Pennywise's perspective, he feeds on trauma and terror. So he transforms into anything that they're scared of, right? And then you get into Mary Poppins. The spoonful of sugar to me represents keeping them docile so that she can feed them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for my wild things here?
Yes.
Pennywise arrives every 27 years to feed off of the fears before he
retreats.
Yes. The Creeper arrives every 23 years for 23 days, correct? To actually eat people because he needs the best parts of all the people.
Yes.
Nanny McPhee, and that was, they changed the name of that character. It's actually an adaptation from Nurse Matilda. She shows up when there are excessively disobedient and
Mhm.
mischievous children.
Right.
So are they all
Oh,
parts of
also,
this?
well, and that's what I was going to say. There's also another one that I found while researching this one that tied Coraline into it also with the other,
Other mother.
yeah, is a spider. And
I-
if you watch the It's, that is one of the forms of Pennywise. So there you have it. There's something to think about, guys.
I'm going to talk to you about some jack-o'-lanterns.
All right.
And I'm just going to give you a very brief history. I think I got all the most important points in here.
Main points.
And kept it brief. I try to keep mine like 10 minutes long because I like to listen to your things.
But you know how that goes.
The term jack-o'-lantern originally referred to the mysterious wandering lights over bogs and marshes called ignis fatuus, which is Latin for foolish fire or will-o'-the-wisp, and appears in English usage from the 17th century. And for the life of me, I couldn't find out if there was a will-o'-the-wisp, and I feel like that there is, and that I know this somewhere in the back of my brain.
I feel like there should be.
But they were also the foolish fire. It was also, some said that they were the souls of unbaptized babies.
Right.
Carving hollowed out root vegetables into lanterns was a folk practice across Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and parts of England. People carved turnips, which we discussed were sort of terrifying. People carved turnips, rutabagas, and mangelwurzels. Sometimes gave them grotesque faces and illuminated them with embers or candles to scare away wandering spirits. These carvings were part of Samhain and other Gaelic late autumn rites, marking the end of harvest season and beginning of winter, and our favorite time of year. This time is associated with spirits, household protection, and liminality. Lights were set inside them to mark the turning of the year and to give physical form to nighttime spirit world imagery. During the 19th century, Irish and other Celtic immigrants brought their carved vegetable Halloween customs to North America. There, they adopted the native pumpkin and other winter squashes because they were larger and much easier to hollow and carve than turnips, which made pumpkin jack-o'-lantern the predominant form by the late 1800s into modern Halloween practice. And we talked about that just a wee little smidge whenever we were talking about
They're also a lot less terrifying, to be fair.
So much less. However, I do love a good pumpkin turned jack-o'-lantern turned absolutely scary, grotesque.
Oh, yeah.
Terrifying.
My favorite part of a jack-o'-lantern or time frame is when it's just getting to where it's just shriveling up and looking just blah. Like, it doesn't matter what you put on that sucker or carve into it. It ain't gonna look good. It's scary.
Nah.
So, which is what happens to the
Nah.
turnips. I just can't. As much as I would love to do a turnip myself, I ain't got time for that or patience. So, never gonna happen.
No, odds are I'm gonna start eating that turnip before
I'm not gonna eat.
I can even bother. Carved jack-o'-lanterns functioned historically as protective markers, mischievous decorations, and practical lanterns. Their carved faces and flickering light were intended to scare away malevolent spirits such as harmful fairies. They're harmful, y'all.
Yes,
The fae are not your
keep that in mind. They're cute. Doesn't mean anything.
So they were meant to scare away the harmful fairies, ghosts, and other night spirits. Lanterns placed at doorways and windows signals a household's participation in protective ritual and marked where ancestors or friendly spirits could rest. And I think that's beautiful.
That is. I really like that. And I didn't know that.
A dim, steady light served as a beacon to help wandering souls find their way home rather than confuse travelers or lead them astray. A human-like illuminated face could impersonate a spirit or distract a supernatural being so they could pass on without harming the living. Displaying a carved lantern communicated that the household observed seasonal rites that enforced social and spiritual norms during a liminal time. Today, they're primarily decorative symbols of Halloween, ranging from simple spooky faces lit by candles to elaborate art pieces featured in festivals, contests, and seasonal displays. And I do love a good display of Halloween.
Yeah.
In our last episode, I told the popular Irish folk tale about Stingy Jack, which explains the name and the image of a wandering, light-bearing spirit. In a nutshell, according to the tale, Jack tricks the devil several times, and in death, heaven wouldn't have him, and the devil ends up condemning him to roam the earth and carry a coal for a light, which he placed inside a carved turnip, becoming Jack of the Lantern, later shortened to Jack-o'-lantern. Since we've made our way from Ireland to America, let's stroll on over to West Virginia, find you a holler, get your little campfire going, and we're going to talk about the Appalachia of it all. In Appalachian lore, jack-o'-lanterns were more than Halloween decorations. They were spiritual sentinels, protective charms, and sometimes even invitations to the dead.
Did not know this.
No, I like to teach you things. Here, the meaning behind the lanterns remained deeply spiritual. The jack-o'-lanterns had protective and supernatural functions similar to those in the old country. But here's where it gets strange. In some mountain communities, folks whispered that jack-o'-lanterns weren't just symbolic, they were sentinels. Carved with care and placed near graveyards, they were said to keep the restless dead from wandering. Others claimed they could lure spirits in, acting as beacons for messages from the beyond. And in certain hollers, if you carved a lantern on All Hallows Eve and it cracked before midnight, well, you'd best sleep with some salt at your window sills. Quick note on salt.
Yes.
For those of you who do not know, families would sprinkle salt at the windows and thresholds, and it was to protect against spiritual intrusion. It's actually practiced in a lot of cultures. That's not just a witchcraft thing.
No, it's not.
No.
Yes, but not just.
Right. It's due to the ability to preserve, and it wards off decay. Therefore becoming a symbol for warding off evil spirits, which are often associated with decay. And then there are some narratives that say that supernatural creatures are compelled to count each grain, and it prevents them from crossing a threshold or through your windowsill.
Also rice.
So
that's the other.
Yes, rice. Rice was the other one. As with all tales, there are regional variants. For example, some mountain superstitions state that some elders claim that jack-o'-lanterns carved with a crooked smile could confuse evil spirits, preventing them from entering the home. So that's almost kind of like the salt thing. In West Virginia coal towns, stories circulated of miners who died in cave-ins appearing near jack-o'-lanterns carved with their initials. Part ghost story, part grief ritual. And I have a little sidebar.
I haven't heard that either.
Well, I didn't know that either. And I don't know if one of them still does it or not, but Mom or Hank or both of them used to always carve Andy's initials into a pumpkin.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
His heaven date is coming up soon, on the 23rd. If you don't know who Andy is our baby brother, and he is no longer with us, and he was 17 when he passed. But yes. I didn't know that, and so when I read that, I remembered that they always have a.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they did it out of any ritual type, or I mean, everything we do with him is a grief ritual, down to the fact that I visit his grave every year to take him cheese and cracker.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. Yeah.
My stepmom, Lisa made him a mini cheese ball for me one time to take. She was like,
I forgot about that.
For your brother.
Yes.
It's like, oh,
that is just glorious.
So good. And he had a little baby one.
I love it.
Appalachian children were warned not to mock the lantern's face, lest they invite the spirit it represented. And we were told a lot of times not to mock faces and do things with our faces. And I believe,
yes, we were. And now I'm not sure if that's where that came from, because,
oh no, we were told our faces were going to stick like that quite often.
It's going to freeze that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The biggest jack-o'-lantern display in West Virginia, I think, yes, it is called the Canova Pumpkin House, and it's in Wayne County. It claims the crown as West Virginia's largest jack-o'-lantern display. It is located at, for those of you who would like to go see it, I have never, oddly.
I haven't got to see it either, like in person. I've seen lots of videos of pictures, but.
Yes. but never gone there in person. I want to do the things, but there are all the people.
I know there's always
And
people
then
involved.
I don't want to do the things.
Yeah.
It is located at 1713 westbound US Route 60 in Canova, West Virginia. To give you an idea of the scale of this thing, there are over 3,000 hand-carved pumpkins arranged across the front lawn, the porch, and the adjacent fields. People are so talented when it comes to that stuff. I can barely cut some shapes into our classroom without it looking horrible.
I mean, to be fair, I can draw and paint and do all the things. Carving pumpkins ain't one of my specialties. I can just go ahead and tell you that. I bought the little kits where you stab the holes around the stencil. It ain't ever gonna look like that. Not for me.
The tradition began in 1978 by former Canova Mayor Rick Griffith with just 5 family gourds, and it has grown into a nationally recognized event. Visitors can stroll winding paths lit by glowing faces, accompanied by seasonal music and storytelling, peaking on Halloween night. I just think that sounds like so much fun, and I don't know why we've never done this.
Because people.
Okay, well, there it is. That P word again.
I know.
No other display in the state matches the Canova Pumpkin House's volume or longevity. Its combination of community volunteers, nightly storytelling, and photo-ready scenes makes it the must-see jack-o'-lantern destination in West Virginia.
So on this one, instead of aerials, I am doing something a little different again because it's spooky season. So I'm going to be talking about some cursed and possessed objects. So we're going to do 7 of these, some of which people may know about and some of which people may not.
I just want you to know that if you, and I love you, if you get me cursed or possessed from telling me these stories, I'm going to catch a red eye. And then I'm going to have to call you and be like, I need you to come and pick me up or meet me at the airport because I'm going to have to smack you.
So you're going to call me.
Yeah.
To get you. So you can accost me?
Yes. But I probably will hug you first, to be fair.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's try not to curse anybody so no red eyes are taken. And I ain't going straight for it, so you just shit out of luck on that one. So you can be stuck. Good luck. Our first one is going to be the Bassano vase, which I had not heard of until I started looking into these. The Bassano vase begins its story as a simple silver wedding gift in northern Italy during the late 15th century and quickly becomes a family heirloom steeped in tragedy. The night of the bride's wedding, she is found dying while clutching the vase, whispering that it will bring death to those who keep it. Her family passes the vase down through generations. Each household that takes possession reports 1 or more untimely deaths, until fear compels them to bury or hide the object to stop the pattern.
Which is stupid.
Well, listen, if she was found clutching the vase and said something like that, that's a goner. Like, first of all, it's going with her. You know what I'm saying? If she's dying, let her.
Toodles.
She was clutching it.
Toodles.
It's hers.
Bury her in that vase like a vampire from the whenever they did that times.
Over centuries, the vase's trail grows thin. Accounts are secondhand, dates blur, and the physical object vanishes from verified record, which only deepens the legend. The curse's power in retellings relies on a repeated pattern, possession, grief, and abrupt loss that maps neatly onto historical vulnerabilities. Disease, poor record keeping, and hereditary misfortune. Where documentation exists, it is typically folk narrative rather than archival paperwork, and the vase's status as curse functions as a moral language for families to explain the inexplicable. In performance, emphasize the slow handoff of the object, the hush that falls when a new owner places it on the mantle, and the way rumors ripple outward, neighbors whisper, then townsfolk, then travelers, until the vase is more story than silver. So that is the story of the Bassano vase. So you didn't get cursed from that.
Are you sure we had technical difficulties?
That's
487 times?
That's true. So up next, we have the Dybbuk box. And most people have heard of this one. So the Dybbuk box story begins in modern American lore with a small wine cabinet described online as haunted by a Dybbuk, a malicious spirit from Jewish folklore. The tale that propelled it into popular consciousness combines Gothic theatricality and the early internet's appetite for weird auctions. A seller posted a gripping backstory about a Holocaust-linked origin and terrifying consequences for the owners. The box was bought, resold, and then written about, and its story inspired a major horror film. Investigations and later admissions revealed the narrative's fictional construction, the most dramatic elements traced to the seller's embellishments. Researchers have shown the core provenance claims lack corroborating evidence. Still, the Dybbuk box operates as a modern myth machine. Its claim to harbor a possessed spirit slots into deep cultural anxieties about inheritance, trauma, and the ethics of possession. So this one's interesting. I've never heard this one. Busby's stoop chair. Busby's stoop chair, also called the dead man's chair, is an oak seat from English folklore tied to Thomas Busby, a convicted murderer executed in 1702. The legend says Busby cursed the chair before his hanging, declaring that anyone who sits in it will meet a terrible fate. Over centuries, stories accumulate of people who sat in the chair dying shortly after. RAF pilots during wartime who used it before missions and returned no more, locals struck by sudden misfortune, and a landlord who finally removed the chair from public use and placed it in a museum for containment. When furniture historians examine the object, details complicate the legend. The chair shows stylistic and construction elements from the 19th century, suggesting it postdates Busby by well over a century. That mismatch doesn't stop the chair from functioning in local memory as a physical locus of dread. The museum amplifies the effect by hanging the chair 5 feet off the ground on the wall. That's the chair. So next up, we have Robert the Doll is Key West's notorious haunted toy, an early 20th century Steiff-style doll that belonged to artist Robert Eugene Otto. Local lore paints Robert as a companion and rival in equal measure. The doll reportedly moved, changed facial expressions, and played tricks when displeased, and neighbors blamed it for misfortunes. Otto himself, described as an eccentric figure, is woven into accounts of strange outbursts and unexplained mishaps attributed to the doll. In the present day, Robert sits in a museum behind glass where visitors sometimes leave apology notes and ask permission before photographing him. Those who disrespect him are said to experience bad luck afterward. Robert's power as a cursed object relies on the uncanny intimacy of dolls, the attribution of intention to an object that was once a child's friend, and on the museum's role in ritualizing interaction. Visitors, confessions, petitions, and offerings keep the narrative alive. That was Robert the Doll. So our next one, we've got Myrtle's Plantation Mirror. The Myrtle's Plantation in Louisiana is steeped in layered legends tied to slavery, murder, and spectral presence. Among its most chilling artifacts is the plantation mirror, said to bear the imprint of hands and to capture the faces of the dead. The plantation's lore centers on Chloe, a slave whose various origin stories include eavesdropping, disfigurement, and revenge. Versions differ widely, but the mirror functions as a narrative anchor for these tales. Guests and paranormal investigators report footsteps, reflections of figures who vanish, and fingerprints that appear and disappear on the glass. Historical research complicates the density of haunting claims. Many high-count lists of murders connected with the house are unsupported by primary records. Yet the plantation's architecture, its history of human violence and oppression, and the plantation's tour economy all feed a fertile soil for ghost stories.
Bambi,
What?
you can hear me, right?
Yeah. Why? Oh, God. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I could hear echo, and I accidentally hit the echo thing on my microphone. I hope is what happened.
You sound fine.
I don't like talking about possessed things.
Oh, no. We're almost done. One more. So next up, we have the Crying Boy. The Crying Boy is a mass-produced...
Oh, God.
The Crying Boy is a mass-produced print of paintings by an Italian artist known by the pen name Giovanni Brigolin. Its curse is a modern urban legend born in 1980s Britain. The catalyst was tabloid reporting that firefighters repeatedly found undamaged Crying Boy prints amid burning houses, intact canvases, and a wreckage of ash, sparking moral panic and a wave of ritual responses, including mass bonfires organized by readers. Homeowners...
Okay, but
Mhm.
I'm sorry, just real quick. This is just that he just made this character up, right? This isn't
Right.
someone's. He didn't have a child pass away, and he started painting pictures of him, and this one was mass produced.
Right. I've never seen a backstory for what the picture is, but generally speaking, when it's something like that, it's the original and not mass produced. That's what's kind of wild about this one.
I mean, Voldemort made himself into 7 pieces, so it's probably a Horcrux.
True story. Well, not true story, but yeah. All right then. So homeowners...
I hate possessed objects. I have to laugh.
Yeah, I know. So homeowners told stories tying the painting to fires, accidents, and personal misfortune. Some said the child's tears were a sign of sorrow turned malevolent. Investigations later by journalists and experts found plausible, mundane explanations. Some prints were glaze-coated or framed in ways that resisted burning, and the correlation between the paintings and the house fires could reflect selection bias and vivid anecdotes. Still, the image persists as a ghostly cultural object, a face that seems to watch from living rooms, and that, in narrative terms, can mirror a society's sudden surge of superstition under crisis. So there you go. Have you heard of all of these or none of these? Some of these?
I have not heard of the Crying Boy.
Oh.
I don't want to look that up, but also I'm curious what it looks like. So there we are with that.
Well,
I don't want to talk about the D-box because the D-bag.
we don't want to talk about the D-box.
Listen, I'll be honest. I was listening and not listening at the same time. I was sending a text to somebody else because
that is understandable.
I can't with the possessed things.
Yes. But
I used to collect dolls.
Because it's one of those things that's like, this was perfect for...
And which is probably an unfair thing to say, as now my bedroom is decorated with skulls.
Well,
those are fine.
I'm okay with that. I have expired animal parts in jars and things in my house. Not in my bedroom, but there's that. So,
I mean...
But dolls? No. No, thank you.
I can't do... No, thanks. No, can't do dolls anymore.
There will be a picture of the boy in the show notes.
That I will not be looking at.
So I will actually have a picture of all of these things.
Did I look at it and not even realize it? Probably because you put them hints out.
That's an AI picture
and I don't look
of the things.
Okay.
It does look right though, if that helps. If you were okay with that part. I will say that Robert the doll. I don't
remember what they looked like.
At the museum that it's in, you can visit the doll and all that. You can purchase replicas
no, you can't.
Of Robert.
Why?
And I'm going to throw this back to Ozzy and Jack's road trip show.
Yes.
He took Ozzy to meet Robert the doll and bought one. And for the remainder of all of that show, like through the seasons, Ozzy was trying to get rid of it and Jack refused. At one point, they went on a family vacation to Hawaii, and Ozzy buried it on the beach. And then it just showed up back at the house.
Shut your entire mouth.
Because every time he did something to it, Jack would find it or would catch him doing it and take it back and just put it somewhere. So it was always Jack. But literally, I don't know if it still exists or if he finally got rid of it, but he was trying to get rid of it. Like, he buried it. He left it at truck stops. All kinds of stuff. But Jack always knew he was doing it, so he would just find it. And on their road trip, it was like all over their little RV, and he would.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was fun. But Ozzy was not about that life. He did not like it whatsoever.
Blame him.
And of course, Jack was.
I would have found a lit fire.
Right? I was surprised he didn't.
He would have been kindling.
Yeah. But yeah, my favorite one was when he buried it on the family vacation. Because, like, he kept trying to bury it. He kept sticking it between the couch cushions so that nobody would know it was there. And it would just keep people would, sit down and there it is. And they're like,
oh, God, no.
Why is that there? So he finally tried to bury it on the beach. It was great. He was out there just digging away.
I didn't want to go see the Annabelle doll. I think that's just stupid.
I have no interest in that whatsoever.
And I realize, like, we have looked into this. There is more than one Annabelle doll.
Yes. Yeah. I fully 100% believe that the one that was paraded around the entire country, not her. I've watched them on video transfer her from her box that she's not allowed to leave into another box.
Releasing the soul into the universe.
So here's the thing. They're not going to do that. She is where she's supposed to be. Another doll has been transferred from another box into another box for show. And that's what went all over the place.
But how wild of all the things that happen. I mean, you can take anything and relate it back to, well, that happened because blah, 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 or such and such predicted this was going to happen, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You can do that with anything.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I had that.
Oh, I had one.
Raggedy Ann doll.
Raggedy Ann. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are some cursed and possessed objects for you guys, although I myself and Amy, neither of us are fans, so
we don't want to see them.
Welcome.
As with every episode, I think I've done one every episode.
Mm-hmm.
I have a missing persons. I can't let go of that. Like, I don't mean to bring it down, but people need found.
Yes.
I have my missing moment. Today is, and again, I was trying to relate things back to Halloween-related disappearances.
Yes.
This is Roger Wallace Sheltrown, Sheltrown.
Yes.
Robert was born February 10th, 1967. He was 28 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is a white male, 5'11", 150 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. Distinguishing marks are a tattoo on his right wrist of barbed wire with flames, and he possibly has a mustache. Roger was last seen departing a Halloween party on his bicycle in Angels Camp, California on October 31st, 1995. His mother reported him missing to the Calaveras County Sheriff's Office on November 13th, 1995, after he failed to return home as planned. It's a lot of days.
Yeah.
He is also an adult.
Right.
However, that's quite a bit of time to allow to elapse.
Yes.
As far as the investigation efforts go, the Calaveras County Sheriff's Office renewed its public appeal in September of 2025. So this was just last month. Via Facebook, and I didn't know that. I just happened to look it up. Yeah. It just worked out that way. I was looking up cases for Halloween. I had missing persons during Halloween, and it just happened to be that, and I had no idea that was on Facebook until I read that. So that was in September of 2025 via Facebook and local news, urging anyone with information, no matter how small, to come forward. Officials suspect his remains could be concealed in an abandoned mining shaft in the region's old gold rush veins. Fox 40 broadcast coverage on September 19th, 2025, highlighted fading witness memories and cold leads while reminding the public of Roger's last known bicycle route home from the event. The nonprofit Solve the Case has included Roger's story on its platform, encouraging donations to fund additional searches, creating forum threads to crowdsource potential sightings or clues from longtime residents. Currently, Roger's case remains unsolved more than 30 years after his disappearance. Investigators continue to believe that a mine shaft in Angels Camp foothills may hide key evidence or remains. So, I don't know if I say this further on down, but they think that he might have stopped right in the area of one of the mine shafts. They were definitely on his route home from where the party was to his house. Investigators have focused on 2 clusters of shafts along Mountain Ranch Road and Parrots Ferry Road. These align roughly with the bike route Roger would have taken home after the Halloween party. A particular shaft, dubbed Shaft 17 by local spelunkers, is less than half a mile from where Roger was last seen. It's a 20-foot diameter opening leading to a vertical drop of roughly 85 feet.
Oh.
In 2001, the sheriff's office used a custom-built sounding probe to drop down Shaft 17. It recorded a void at 80 feet, but couldn't get clear sonar recordings past rubble. And so it's not safe for them to even search these things. Is the horrible part about the situation. Well, I mean, the horrible part is that someone might be down there, but the second most horrible is it's not even safe for them to try to retrieve. I hate it.
Yeah, too.
In 2010, a volunteer team from the Tuolumne Calaveras Grotto surveyed several shafts with ground-penetrating radar. They flagged 2 promising targets, but lacked resources to follow up with bore sampling. Most recently, in the summer of 2025, so just a couple months past, Solve the Case raised funds for an uncrewed drone equipped with a winch and an ultra-LED camera, but battery constraints limited exploration just to the upper 30 feet of Shaft 17.
Wow.
That stinks, too.
Yeah.
Eyewitness accounts from 1995 mention Roger pausing at a roadside cluster of iron ore tailings, exactly where these shafts intersect the surface. The depth and geometry of Shaft 17 mean a body could roll past the initial sonar range and settle in a dead zone of accumulated gravel at the bottom, evading visual sweep and casual clearing. Recovering mains or personal effects here would finally provide a locus for forensic testing. DNA, fiber matches, even tool mark analysis on bone that could suggest foul play. Sorry to keep that so short. I try not to get too involved in some of these cases, or I would go on and on and on forever about them because I just want them to be found. But if you have any information, you can contact the Angels Camp Police Department or the Calaveras County Sheriff's Department. And remember, no bit of information is too small. Any little thing could be the key to finding any of these people. And I wanted to give a shout out to our muses when we put out the request for people to sign the petition in Heather Teague's case for her mom, Sarah. We helped get some word out on that. And I know a few of you signed it, and I appreciate that so much. She did get more than what she needed.
Above, which is awesome.
Yeah,
and it went really quickly, too. So,
yes, it was like immediate.
Yeah.
She was like, hey, we're here. Let's get here. And lickety snap, there it was.
Anybody that hasn't signed it is still more than welcome to sign it. It's still up, and she is still trying to get more signatures on it, too. So, because the more the better. All right, so we are going to go ahead and close this out before something else happens and we don't get to.
Lord have mercy.
There's so many things, but that's all right. You know what? We got this. We're here again. So,
and again and again.
And again. So, thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you, and we hope that you join us again. If you've got your own macabre musings, tales, questions, or lore you're dying to hear, find us on Facebook or drop us a line at Macabre.Musings.Podcast at gmail.com.
Pull up a chair next time as we dive into more dark, creepy lore and maybe tumble down a rabbit hole or two. Until then, keep your jack-o'-lanterns low and your curiosities. Hi.
And until next time, be safe, stay spooky, and we will see y'all later.